Hello each and everyone, the one who is watching my video. Welcome to Global Online Marathi. In today's lecture, we will discuss about business environment and international business, unit number 1 of Commerce Paper 2. In today's lecture, we will see the types of trade barrier. And one more important thing I want to tell you that every day at 6, I will be uploading my video on the Global Online Marathi. So do watch my video to clear your exam. Before going ahead, I want to tell you that we the Global Online University is offering course for Commerce Paper 2 in which we are providing you full syllabus notes of all the 10 units, not only in English but we are providing these notes even in Marathi. 10 full syllabus test series covering 10,000 MCQ with the detailed solution. Previous year question from year 2015 to 2020 covering 1000 MCQ with the detailed solution. Full syllabus video lectures, plus we are adding you in the WhatsApp group where you can discuss all the thing about the paper 2. Plus we are also providing you course for the paper 1. We are providing this course for just rupees 5000. Students, Global Online University is offering course for Geography, Economics, Social Work, Management, English, Hindi and the Law in which we are providing you theory plus MCQ. Students, we have also started registration for 2022 courses. So do join our courses. To join, please contact on given number or you can also download our app where you can get all the detail to join. Don't wait for the last moment, hurry up. Now let's start with the today's lecture. Today in this lecture we will see all the barrier in detail. The first one is natural barrier. Natural barrier due to it can be either physical or cultural. Please remember this. The natural barrier is again divided into physical and a cultural barrier. Distance is a one type of a natural barrier. For example, if you order some good from another country, it takes almost 15 to 20 days to reach that product to you. And because of that, barrier take place. And this type of a barrier is called natural barrier. Even the language barrier will come under the natural barrier. People who can't communicate effectively may not be able to negotiate a trade agreement or may shift the wrong good. For example, if I want to order some good from the China, here I don't know the language of China and they don't know my language, right? So we will not be communicate effectively. We will be not able to communicate with each other. So the product which they are going to export me or the product which I want from that will not be shipped correctly or they may shift the product wrong. Tariff barrier. Tariff is a tax which is imposed by a nation or by the government on an imported good. It may be charged per unit such as per barrel of oil or per new car. It may be in a percentage of a value of a good such as a 5%, 10% or maybe in the combination. Okay. Here we can take example. Suppose one product is there which is available in India for rupees 20 and same product is there which is available at rupees 15 in USA. Okay. But to reach that product in India, it takes the charges of rupees 3. Here we can say, right? So the 15 plus 3 will become 18. Now to reduce the import or to restrict the import, what our government is doing, our government is adding the tax to that product. Supposing our government is charging 8 rupees of a tax, so the amount when that product actually came in the market, the product rate will be 26 rupees, right? Now our nation is making same product for rupees 20 and foreign product is available at rupees 26. So here obviously people of our nation will go for our own product, right? And that will help to reduce the import of the product from the foreign country. This is how the tariff work. Further, this tariff barrier is divided into four methods: on the basis of origin, on the basis of qualification, on the basis of relation, and on the basis of purpose. Today we'll see this in detail. So under tariff barrier, the first method is on the basis of origin. The method of a tariff barrier means how the tariff barrier will be levied. So on the basis of a origin means where the actual good is manufactured, where that goods is produced or a manufactured. Under which the first point is export duty. Export duty is a tax levied by the country of origin on the commodity designated for a use in other countries. For example, if India exports some product to the foreign country and charging some tax, that time we say it is a export duty. Here majority of a finished good do not attract the export duty. The main aim behind this to increase the export. Indian government want to increase their export so that the foreign currency will come in the India. But normally this type of a export duty imposed on the primary product in order to conserve them for the domestic industry. For example, if a Indian are selling some product which is actually important in our nation, that time country will impose the export duty so that export of such a product can be reduced. Generally, there is no export duty in India. The second point under the first method is import duty. And the import duty is a tax imposed on the commodity originating in the another country by the country for which the product is designated. Designated means where the product is going to use. Okay. The main purpose of a heavy import duty to earn the revenue, to make a import costly, and to provide a protection to the domestic industry. Country impose the heavy import duty to restrict the import and thereby to remove the deficit in the balance of payment. The aim behind imposing the heavy import duty is to reduce the import from the another country. On the basis of qualification is the second method under tariff barrier, under which the first point is specific duty. When any country imposes tax on the basis of physical characteristic of the good, that time it is called a specific duty. When the fixed sum of a money, keeping in a view the weight or a measurement of a commodity, is levied as a tariff, it is known as a specific duty. So the specific duty is levied on the physical characteristic of the good. For example, 1 kg sugar is for ₹50. Now for 1 kg, 2 rupees tax is levied. What we are doing here, we are ignoring the rate of the sugar and we are considering the quantity. For 1 kg sugar, 2 rupees. So for the 5 kg, if I want to buy a 5 kg of sugar, the tax on that will be ₹10. Right? Here we are ignoring this. Rate of the sugar is ignored. So if the government is charging tax on the physical character, that time it is called a specific duty. The second point here is ad valorem duty. Tariff levied on the basis of value of the item. Here I can take a same example. For a 1 kg sugar, ₹50 is the charges. So on this 50 rupees, now 10% tax is levied. So I have to pay 10% on 50 rupees. That is a 5 rupees. Okay. It is called a ad valorem duty according to the value. The tax is a charges on the value of the item and not on the quantity of the item. That is a ad valorem duty. When we charge the tax on the basis of the quantity, that time it is a specific duty because we are charging the tax on the characteristic of the product and not on the rate of the product. The third one is compound duty or a combined duty. On the basis of both the value, the quantity and the value. For example, if you import sugar, then you have to pay rupees 2 per kg, which can you see here, rupees 2 on per kg and 10% on rupees 50. So the tax duty you have to pay is total 7 rupees, 5 plus 2 rupees, and this is called a combined duty. Here both the tax you have to pay on the quantity or on the value. The third point under tariff barrier is on the basis of purpose. Government impose tariff, but why government is doing this? What is the purpose behind this, or what is the motive behind this? That we will see here. So the first point is revenue tariff. It aims at collecting substantial revenue for the government, but does not really abstract the good. Duty imposed on the item of mass consumption, but the rate which the government imposes is very low. Now what is mass consumption? Mass consumption meaning the product which is a regularly used or a product which is the use mostly. The second point under on the basis of purpose is protective tariff. To protect domestic company, government levy duty, and this is called a protective tariff. To protect our domestic industries which is already available in India, government impose the tariff which is called a protective tariff. So that domestic industry which are already working in India will not get affected because of the foreign product which the Indian are going to import. Now there are two types of protective tariff. The first one is anti-dumping tariff and second one is countervailing duty. So first we will understand the anti-dumping tariff or a anti-dumping duty. Here we will take an example. If suppose one product is produced in India for rupees 10. Okay. Same product is produced in USA for rupees 12. Now here USA, here the USA, and this is our India. Now here USA decided to capture the Indian market. Okay, USA decided to come here and capture our market. So what he did, he decided to sell his product for rupees 8, which was actually of rupees 12. He decided to sell his product at rupees 8 in India. Indian was selling that product for rupees 10, right? Now USA come up with rupees 8. USA thought that by doing this, people from India will buy their product and he will be easily capture the Indian market. This is also called dumping, means selling own product in another country with a low rate. But what our government will do? Here government will levy the tax. Supposing our government is putting tax of rupees 5. Okay. So the 8 plus 5 will become 13. So now this product is available for rupees 13. So automatically the people from India will buy Indian product and not foreign product or USA product which is available in Indian market, because the rate compared to India is the higher, right? And this is called a anti-dumping duty. This type of a duty is followed by most of the country. It is harmful to the less developed country where the cost of the production is high. Here we will take a same example. The US is selling his product for rupees 12 and same product is available in India for rupees 10. Now the USA government call his exporter and asks him why he is not able to sell his product in Indian market. So the USA exporter explain the situation that same product is available for rupees 10 in India. So here what their government said, sell the product for rupees 7 by reducing rupees 5. Okay. But the USA exporter said doing this he will suffer the loss of rupees 5. Okay. So their government said sell the product for 7 in India and 5 rupees he will pay as a subsidy. So again the 7 plus 5 equal to 12. So the exporter will get the amount what he want. So here he agree with that. But again what Indian government did, our government charges the additional tax of rupees 5 same as the subsidy rate which the government providing. This is called the countervailing duty. Only difference between the anti-dumping duty and the countervailing duty is that countervailing duty is done by the government and anti-dumping duty is done by the exporter who is selling his product in the another country. Then is on the basis of relation, under which the first point is single column. Under this system, the tariff rate are fixed for a various commodity and same rate are applicable to import from all the other country. As I told you before that we are having a Custom Tariff Act 1975 which I explained you in my yesterday class, right? Under which the duty rate are given. Under this act, the system made in which the rate are fixed for the product, the single column tariff means you have to pay a single tariff which is already fixed under the Custom Tariff Act 1975. It cannot be changed. Double column, two rate of a duty are fixed on all or some commodity. The lower rate is made applicable to the friendly country or a country with which the importing country have a bilateral trade agreement. The higher rate is applicable to all other countries. Here the most favored nation will get the benefit of double column tariff because they have to pay less compared to the other country. Okay. The third type of barrier is non-tariff barrier. Government also use other tool beside the tariff barrier to restrict the trade, and one type of a non-tariff barrier is a import quota or a limit on the quantity of a certain good that can be imported. This barrier do not affect the price of the imported good but only the quantity of imported good. Under which the first point is quota system. Under this the government of the country may fix in advance the limit of a import quantity of commodity that will be allowed for a import from the various country during a given period. For example, here I am doing a business and I am selling the iPhone in Indian market and I am importing that iPhone from USA. Okay. Now here I want to import iPhone of 15,000. I want to import 15,000 iPhone from the USA. But here the government said the quota or a limit that only the 10,000 can be imported. But I want 15,000. But because the government set the quota, I can only import up to the 10,000. Here the quota is applied on the quantity of the product and not on the price. Only the 10,000 I can import from the USA and not the 15,000 because of the quota. The second point here is product standard. Under this barrier, the product standard is measured. If the product is not up to the standard, then the product will be not allowed in the country. For example, the pharmaceutical product must be confirmed before it enter into the country. The third type of non-tariff barrier is domestic content requirement. Government impose domestic content requirement to boost the domestic production. Okay. Then is product labeling. This is another type of barrier in which certain nation instead of a specific labeling for the product. For example, European Union instead of product labeling in the major language spoken in the European Union, and such a formality create a problem for the exporter. Then is packaging requirement. Certain country insist on the particular type of packaging, means they want such type of a packaging. For example, the European Union insist on recyclable packaging material. If the product packaging is not recyclable, then that product will not be allowed in that particular country. Okay. Then is consular formalities. The number of a importing country demand that shipping documents should be include a consular invoice certificate by their consulated station in the exporting country. For example, India is having our embassy or a consular station in USA. If a USA want to export in India, then they have to first go to our consular station or our embassy and take the permission that they want to export their product in India. If they allow, then only USA can export in India. Otherwise, USA will not allow to export their product in India. Foreign exchange regulation. The seventh one point is foreign exchange regulation, under which the importer, the one who is bringing the product, has to ensure that adequate foreign exchange is available for a import of a good by obtaining clearance from the exchange control authority prior to the concluding of the contract with the supplier. This means whenever the importer is going to import the product from the foreign country, he have to assure whether he is having an adequate amount of a foreign currency or not. Then only he can go for the import of the product. The last point here is other non-tariff barrier, under which the health and safety standard, technical formalities, environment regulation will be covered. Under other non-tariff barrier, there are again 2 points, that is embargo and blockade. Embargo for a national interest. It is on all the product or several product. For example, suppose the foreign country export the biscuits in India and India find that the biscuit with the corona symptoms. Here the government will put a ban on that product for a national interest. Okay. And the second point under other non-tariff barrier is blockade. Due to the war, the complete ban on the export and the import. If the India is having a war with the another country, then the product of that country will be banned in India.